KUAM News Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust, serving Micronesia since 1938. Matson, celebrating 25 years of commitment to Guam, Micronesia, and the CNMI. Cars Plus Hyundai, home of the Kona electric vehicle, an electric heart with an SUV soul. Test drive yours today at Cars Plus. McDonald's of Guam, I'm Loving It, and King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Ahead on primetime, an early morning structure fire in Totu leaves one man dead. Plus, Mark Smith is found guilty on over 30 counts to include wire fraud and theft of government property. And federal help arrives on Saipan, ready to treat patients at the alternate care site.
Hafide and good evening, everyone. I'm Tyler Matson. Thanks so much for joining us. We lead off our newscast with some tragic news. A man in his 20s has passed away, a victim of a fatal fire in the village of Totu. Hannah Devanzo reports.
Just before 5:30 Wednesday morning, 911 dispatch got the call.
It was a house fire, of course, with a single occupant. It was extinguished early this morning. 911 call was made by the family. And we extinguished it.
According to Deputy Fire Chief Joey San Nicolas, as firefighters made their way inside and extinguished the fire, they found someone inside.
They did find one body, one person within the structure. It was extricated and immediately transported to the hospital.
The man, who has not yet been identified, is described to be in his 20s. He was rushed to Naval Hospital in Agana Heights, with CPR being conducted by medics during transport.
At this point, for us, he is classified as a fire-related death, which triggers a couple of extra things for us, a more in-depth investigation.
San Nicolas says the Guam Fire Department does not suspect any foul play involved, but is still investigating what may have caused the fire. According to our news files, the last time the fire department investigated a fatal fire was more than 3 years ago. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Hannah Devanzo.
A jury has unanimously found former Guam Housing and Urban Renewal Authority legal counsel Mark Smith guilty on over 30 counts of conspiracy to commit wire fraud, theft of government property, conspiracy to commit money laundering, and engaging in monetary transactions with proceeds of specified unlawful activity. In March 2017, Smith, along with Glenn Wong, were indicted by a federal grand jury. Smith was GURA's legal counsel and was collecting funds as a landlord for the Section 8 program. He concealed his conflict of interest by transferring his properties to Wong. Wong would distribute the money in various methods to pay Smith's credit cards, loans, and other obligations. Smith is scheduled to be sentenced on March 8, 2022 at 9:30 a.m. Following the reading of the verdict, defense attorney Mike Phillips indicated that he will file a motion for judgment of acquittal. Attorney Phillips has 14 days to file the motion. An indictment handed down 3 months ago has been unsealed after federal officials finally took into custody Rebecca Rose San Nicolas Morta today. She was indicted back in September on drug charges. According to documents, Morta is accused of attempting to possess with the intent to distribute up to 50 or more grams of meth. The alleged crime took place between January and February of last year. Morta is scheduled to be arraigned before federal magistrate Judge Michael Berdalio tomorrow morning. The Leon Guerrero administration has submitted its plan to pay out $10 million in local war claims. Acting Governor Josh Tanario says proposed legislation has been forwarded to the legislature that sets out the implementation details, beginning with the creation of an adjudication committee to review the claims.
Basically, what we're proposing and providing for is that the adjudication committee is going to follow the same process that the federal commission did in adjudicating those claims. And the claim form is identical to the claim form that everybody else that had managed to file with the federal commission It's identical.
The adjudication committee will set up offices at the Guam Museum, and the Department of Administration will process the payouts. Claim amounts will be based on the type of atrocities suffered, from injuries to rape to death. There are an estimated 700 war survivors that did not meet the December 2016 federal filing deadline. And Tanario says the $10 million that's expected to be set aside for payments will be flexible.
But quite frankly, during the claims period of the application period, if there's going to be a need, then of course I feel, as does the governor, that we would meet that need. But I think that it's a pretty good estimate based on the experience that we've seen during the federal claims process.
Speaker Terlahi and others in the legislature want to expand the local war claims program to include all those who passed away prior to the federal cutoff date, so essentially all would be eligible.
It is a lingering issue for all of us. We feel incomplete about it, but we also have to be quite realistic about the amount of resources that we're going to be able to provide.
There is no additional funding for the program. It's all local money or federal reimbursements already due to Guam. Meanwhile, it was also not lost on Tanario that this is the 80th anniversary of the Japanese attack on Guam that launched the brutal occupation. He says his grandmother, Marcy Franquez, was at the cathedral and was told to flee when they first heard of the bombings in Sumai.
At that time, she must have been only 15 years old, 16 years old. And what a situation to be in, right? But I was totally thinking about her and all of the Manumcos and the war survivors that are still alive, and how, at least the government, in one of the things that we can unify on is, trying to make sure that we find a way to provide compensation for the folks that got left behind.
For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
Public testimonies regarding COVID-19 vaccination requirements and standard operating procedures, personal rules and regulations, as well as weekly COVID testing were heard by the Guam legislature for over 4 hours yesterday evening on Zoom. KUAM's Isaiah again reports.
The virtual roundtable hearing lasted for about 4 hours and 40 minutes to be exact. Educators and parents expressed their concerns about the COVID-19 vaccination requirements for employees and weekly COVID testing. First, Patrice Tanario, an unvaccinated GDOE employee who is a teacher at Agania Heights Elementary School, does not get tested weekly due to a medical exemption, but she shared her thoughts about the policies currently in place.
My concern is my colleagues are more than qualified to educate students, and they are being treated like criminals. And my coworkers, weekly testing under duress, feeling segregated from the rest of the staff. I've had my coworkers worried because they have headaches, nosebleeds, burning sensations in their nose due to weekly testing. Testing that should really be done for all employees, because data shows that both vaccinated and unvaccinated can carry and spread this virus.
Governor Lulian Guerrero implemented the requirements through an executive order in September, which states that those who do not comply shall be subject to disciplinary procedures, which may include disciplinary action. As a result, there have been 3 GDOE employees placed on annual leave. One of them being Millie Luhana Faison, now a former GDOE teacher at Agania Heights Elementary School as of Friday, December 3rd. She expressed her feelings about the requirements.
My heart is broken and my spirit shattered over the fact that I am being ordered to stay away from my students as if I was a common criminal. It has now been nearly 3 months since I haven't reported to work, since I haven't been able to teach my students. There has been no closure, and every day is a struggle.
GDOE Superintendent John Fernandez reiterated that the learning institution is just being compliant with the island's chief executive.
This is not a GDOE initiative alone. We are actually an agency implementing an executive order of the governor, and with the guidance of the governor's office, public health, and Department of Administration.
Written testimonies are still being accepted for the next 10 working days. It can be sent via email to Senator T.C. Nelson at guamlegislature.org. Reporting for Guam's News Network, Guahusi Isaiah Agan.
Meanwhile, Acting Governor Josh Tanario says there are no plans to change the teacher vaccine mandate anytime soon.
Classrooms and school is the largest congregate activity on Guam. And right now, we just beat this third surge, right? When you have 25 kids in a classroom setting. I mean, I would just say if there's a study that occurred in a classroom in California where a teacher that was infected with the virus spread it amongst almost all her classroom. But if you have a responsibility for providing educational services for children, and many children who may not be vaccinated, I think you need to be able to have balance. And I would say that right now, especially for healthcare settings and in the classroom, I think it's an obligation for them to be mandated to be vaccinated at this time.
Tanario says he knows there are teachers who are hostile to the mandate, but he believes they need to be upfront with parents and provide notifications to them that they are not vaccinated. He says ultimately it's the parents' decision. The Joint Information Center reported Tuesday evening the island's 267th COVID-19 related fatality. The patient was an 85-year-old unvaccinated woman. She tested positive on November 29th. Her death occurred at the Guam Regional Medical City on December 1st. The CNMI is in its first wave of COVID-19, and federal help arrived on the island to treat COVID-19 patients on Saipan. Tomas Manglonia reports from the alternate care site.
Federal help is on Saipan to assist in containing COVID-19.
We were given the mission to help staff the monoclonal antibody clinic as well as the mass vaccination clinic. Here at the MAB, the monoclonal antibody clinic, we have 2 nurses, a paramedic, and 2 physicians that are here taking care of the patients that are brought in for their subcutaneous MAB treatment.
About 136 patient courses have been administered so far.
We are here to help augment and help support. We're not here to take over. We are not running in a silo. We're here to help you.
The treatment is available at the alternate care site at Kanoa Resort and the Saipan Hospital ER for those who present symptoms and test positive.
There's about 10 beds set up there right now, but there's the capacity here to really be able to expand that number if necessary. So people who desire to have this treatment done and get the monoclonal antibody infusion, this site is, or injection, I'm sorry, is set up to be able to accommodate larger numbers.
They remind the community that the treatment is not a substitute for getting vaccinated.
We don't want you to be hospitalized. We don't want you to fill a bed. We want you to be able to get this treatment, and so there is a certain time frame for you to get it. And when you have those symptoms, that's basically your sign.
The team is expected to leave on December 14, but may extend their stay if frontliners need more help. Tomas Manglonia for KUAM News on Saipan.
Before we head into the break, KUAM and Coast 360 throughout the month of December share Making Spirits Bright. We want to see videos and pictures of your Christmas trees, decorations, and holiday photos. Make sure to use the hashtag Making Spirits Bright Guam on Facebook or Instagram. Check out these images submitted by the Bebauta Jones family.
Hafa, this is Governor Lou Leon Guerrero. If you're struggling to pay rent and utilities because of the pandemic, your government can help. Our Emergency Rental Assistance Program provides direct relief to you. To date, over $6.9 million has helped over 1,500 households.
Apply online at eoa.guam.gov or call the Department of Administration's Emergency Rental Assistance Program at 671-638-4518 or 19.
Our family was recently challenged with a difficult medical condition where my son needed a liver transplant. And I asked Calvo Select Care to assist me with that, and he required off-island care. In fact, it can only be taken care of off-island. So Calvo Select Care was there to help with all the referrals and the off-island coverage.
Calvo Select Care, healthcare that's always there for you. Federal employees and annuitants, enroll today.
It's a special delivery to your inbox every week with your KUAM News Roundup, program advisories, and promotions. Sign up for the weekly KUAM Digital Digest today on KUAM.com.
Welcome back. The House has passed 2022 National Defense Authorization Act. The measure contains several critical provisions related to Guam. Aside from millions in funding for military projects, the 2022 NDAA also calls for an integrated air and missile defense system on Guam. The Defense Secretary would be tasked with identifying the architecture and acquisition approach for implementing a 360-degree integrated air and missile defense capability to defend the island from advanced cruise, ballistic, and hypersonic missile threats. The NDAA now moves to the Senate. Senators have the day off to celebrate Santa Maria and Kamalan, but during session Tuesday, they discussed several measures. They included a bill to limit sole source contracts to no more than 1 year. The bill by Senator Sabina Perez is meant to tighten up sole source procurements. It requires that prior to a solicitation, an official above the level of the procurement officer must acknowledge in writing that there's only one source for the required supply or service. The purchasing agency is also required to provide a prior written report with a detailed analysis of the minimum needs, and it should be determined by thorough market research that no other source can satisfy the need.
If used incorrectly, sole source creates a greater dependency on the single business contracted by the government and increases the vulnerability and risk of interruption of supplies and services. The specifications justifying a sole source contract must be scrutinized, and where there is reasonable doubt that minimum needs of government were not specified, the sole source contract should be terminated and a competitive method of source selection be used.
The sole source contract can be renewed with 4 one-year successive terms, but only if there is no other available source. Session continues on Thursday. The statue of Santa Maria and Kamalan made its pilgrimage around the island today. Thousands of the island's faithful came out to honor the patron saint of Guam. Manila resident Juanita Alcantara could not hold back tears of joy, expressing her thanks to the saint.
She knew if she said yes, the child was conceived in her that was not from Joseph, she's going to live a tough life. There's going to be a lot of tongue wagging. There's going to be a lot of shame being put on her. She was bold as a lion because she was righteous.
This marks the second year in a row that residents have had to pray outside their homes, churches, and along the road as the statue visited each village due to concern over the coronavirus. In this next story, one woman has one thing on her list for Christmas: a living kidney donor. Jonah Gonchafros has more on how the community can help her scratch that item off her list.
It was 2 years ago when 36-year-old Amanda Cateriano was diagnosed with end-stage renal disease. Prior to her diagnosis, the Dorado resident had passed the NCLEX in November 2018, and at the beginning of 2019, she started working as a nurse at Guam Regional Medical City. Soon after, Amanda started to experience symptoms which forced her to leave her job.
The symptoms were just getting worse, and then my family intervened. And I went to go see a doctor, did the labs, and then it revealed that I had kidney failure.
She described some of her symptoms.
You know, I'm not a very forgetful person. So when I started reading about symptoms of people with kidney failure and all that stuff, they did mention brain fog. So that was happening to me a lot. I was forgetting things. Like I had short-term memory. I was feeling nauseous, shortness of breath. There was a lot of swelling on my lower body, like my legs, and it was like that every day. Even my parents and my sisters were saying the color of my skin was different. It was like more grayish, and my personality kind of changed because I used to be very energetic.
In June of 2019, Amanda started dialysis 3 times a week, each visit lasting 4 hours and leaving her fatigued. She admits 2019 was the worst year for her health-wise, having lost her vision.
My left side, and then I had surgery there. Then after that, I lost my vision on my right side. So I couldn't see for a majority of the whole year of 2019. I had like 5 surgeries in my eye, and I didn't get my vision back until the beginning of 2020. And I went through probably a dark time. It was really bad.
Amanda, with the love and support from her family and friends, was ready to fight.
I've gone through, failures and gotten back up. I've always known to be a resilient person, so that just kind of reminded me. And also my faith even grew stronger. I did lose my dad this year. He also was a kidney patient. He did go to dialysis. And, we're going to miss him. And I know he's in heaven now, and he's pain-free and better. So I'm just, what I've gone through, I'm just remembering how he told me to fight.
A GoFundMe page has been set up with the monies raised going towards travel off island, where she can get evaluated at a transplant center and hopefully be put on the transplant list. But Amanda has been told there's a good chance she could advance to transplant if she's able to find a suitable living kidney donor. Her blood type is O.
I just want to thank everyone that shares my story or donates. I'm just so blessed. It's just a blessing if anybody helps me out. And I also believe in the power of prayer. Keep praying for me. Keep praying for everybody in the world. And I just thank everybody that's watching this video.
If you would like to know more or see if you could be a suitable donor, Amanda asks that you visit transplant.keckmedicine.org/kidney, which is a center she's working with. If you would like to donate and get her that much closer to getting the necessary medical care she needs, you can go to gofundme.com and search Amanda Caturiano. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Jonagan Charfris.
They help people find the right homes for them, but when the island went into lockdown back in March of 2020, it was nearly impossible to do so. On this Inside Business, we bring you the story of RE/MAX Realty. Selling homes is no easy business. It requires one of the main elements that were restricted as a result of the COVID pandemic: in-person social interaction.
Gina Campos, an associate broker for RE/MAX Realty, expressed her frustration over the island-wide shutdown. From March to May of 2020, they were told to close their doors. But for anyone that understands the concept of property management, knows that it's nearly impossible to do remotely. She, along with her husband and their accounting team, made the decision to get the task done. Safely, of course.
We just kind of isolated. I have my own office. Leonard has his own office. Accounting stayed in their zone. And we just made an effort to continue the services as in the office remotely as we could.
Thankfully, they came up with a solution to keep everyone on their team on board, and they began staggering their crew members in the office in May.
A lot of times our mindset is if we let go of an employee, are they going to be able to find a job somewhere else? And if the answer is no, then cutting back the hours was the only way we could keep the same amount of people. They're not going to make us much, but at least we're not reducing them to zero without potential opportunity out in the marketplace.
And although they were able to take advantage of federal monies, that quickly ran out as we're nearing 2 years into the pandemic. Campos explained that they projected that they'd lose money. They projected what they'd have to do to make things work. They made sacrifices and cut back on certain benefits. But what they're never able to project is
the governor's mandates and the thing that we have learned is you can't anticipate what they're going to be. On a month-to-month basis, only God knows what's going to come out next. So we have already set up our business model so that whatever the decision is, we could still keep going, because we can't rely that the decision for our company is going to be reasonable and that we could work with it.
Everyone's back at work, and Campos says they're 100% confident they can do their job safely. They had machines to sanitize the office and even installed shields before they were ever advised to do so. However, she begs for more transparency so that people are armed with information and not masked with fear.
Tell us what those issues were, the core mobilities. Tell us what they are, so we can really, I think that's where they need to start targeting, is protecting people with those issues. The rest of us are going to be fine. And the reason that's important in real estate is because we deal with people. We're not a product industry. We can't take our products and go put it on someone's shelf. We're a people industry. We service customers.
With Inside Business, I'm Tyler Matson.
Sports is up next with Dave Delgado. Keep it here. You're watching KUAM.
Your community calendar is brought to you by Taco Bell. Whether it's your first meal or your fourth meal, we've got you covered. Taco Bell, live Mas.
From now until December 31, enter to win the 1 million Pacific Points giveaway. Simply activate your account, refer friends, earn and redeem points at Foodies, Shell, and NIT&E. Learn more about the 1 million Pacific Points giveaway at PacificPoints.com. Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
Half a day. As we look ahead to a brighter tomorrow, Matson's commitment to Guam and Micronesia remains stronger than ever. While the world around us is ever-changing, what remains unchanged is our commitment to you, our customers, and the island communities we serve. Shipping is what we do best, and serving our community is at the heart of everything we do. But we don't do it alone. This is why we support organizations that make caring for the people and the environment a top priority. We know that many count on Matson's lifeline services in the Pacific, and that's why we continue to work hard to ensure that our shipments remain on time all the time. Matson recently added another Aloha-class vessel to our schedule. We now have 2 of Matson's largest and fastest ships serving Guam from the U.S. West Coast and Hawaii. With our new state-of-the-art vessels, we stand ready to support the region's economic recovery. Thank you for the privilege of serving you for the last 25 years, and you can count on Matson to be here for the next 25 years and beyond.
The holidays are here, and you know what that means. Time to gather with family and friends, dress up our homes, and explore the Christmas season in paradise. Why not share these moments for a chance to win $100 in cash? Log on to visitguam.com/Instaguam today to participate in the Guam Visitors Bureau's #Instaguam photo and video contest. A winner will be chosen every week, so share your best holiday moments now and win. Brought to you by GVB, making Guam a better place to live, work, and visit.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Championship hoops in the 10 and under division. Ethan Domingo pulling up from the outside for the Nets. He's good for it. Money's in the bank. Gabriella Connor running off the turnover, waits for the defender to run by. She hits the baseline jumper for the Hornets. The game was tied at 19 with 8:55 left to play. Yup, we're showing free throws. Josiah Leon Guerrero collects on 2 the long way. He hit both free throws. Tristan Santos with the steal. Clear path to the rim for Santos, who goes off the backboard for the easy layup. Hornets get the win 27-26. It was the Sonics and Kings in the 16 and under championship game. Big man Noah Hernandez and 1. Basket's good. Jace De La Cruz checking in for 3. Yes, sir. John Mercado was waiting for his time to go to work. Gets the pass at the top of the key. Nice elevation on the play. Bank was open all night. Keanu Anderson putting the clamp down on defense. Anderson hustles to pick up the loose ball, takes it to the rack for the finish. He's been putting in work during the offseason. Ryu Reklai with the quick take to the basket, getting inside for the score. Anderson answers wide open up top, makes the defense pay for not getting out. Quick outlet pass by the Kings. Devontae Parker, one dribble and goes up with it. Basket and the foul. Sonics beat the Kings 24-13. Mercado working for his shot, screened by Noah. Pull-up jumper is money. Cha-ching. Last bucket here by Dela Cruz for the corner three. In programming news, this Monday, December 13th, on the stations of KUAM, we get you started with a doubleheader on KUAM TV 11. At 4 in the morning, NFL on CBS. The Las Vegas Raiders at Kansas City Chiefs. Keep it locked on Channel 11 at 7:25 in the morning. More NFL on CBS. Buffalo Bills at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Then at 11:20, NBC Sunday Night Football on KUAM TV 8. The Chicago Bears at Green Bay Packers.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
You are everything that matters to me, and I promise to do whatever it takes to keep you healthy, to be comfortable, and to be free. I love you. As long as we're together, I'll always make sure that home will always be our best place to breathe.
Say hello to the First Hawaiian Bank mobile app, where you get smart insights into your finances so you can make smart decisions with your money. With a daily personalized feed, you can compare your monthly income to spending. That's better. Discover where your money is actually going. You might be surprised. See what's essential and what isn't. The more you use the app, the smarter it gets. With insights from the First Hawaiian Bank mobile app, it all starts with yes.
The all-new Hyundai Tucson.
And before we close out the news tonight, our latest round of birthday shout-outs from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club.
All right, everybody, on this December 8th, Viva Santa Maria and Camelin, and happy birthday to Mercy Sablan Jesus. Happy blessed birthday, sis, from your MacShot family. May the Lord bless you now and always. Your friends and family say enjoy and take care. And a member of our family, Joey Calvo. Happy birthday to you. Boss, we hope you had a fantastic day. It's always been good to know you, and we're really, really glad you're a member of our family. So, to Mercy and to Joey, wish the both of you a very happy birthday, good health, good fortune, and have a fantastic day.
That's going to do it for us here on Primetime. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good night and be safe, Guam.
In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises, Inc. and IT&E.
Happy day, everyone, and welcome to another edition of In Full Zoom. I'm Nestor.